Happy Friday, welcome to the vlog. I just spent like 20 minutes busting my mom out of the bathroom. So I was in here and I just like heard this banging. I was like, what is that banging? And like the bathroom that she's in is like on the other side of the house. And my room is pretty isolated anyway, so I don't hear a whole lot of noise unless it's happening in the room that way of me. So I was like, what is that? Is that something outside? Like banging on our front door? Like, I don't know, it's so weird. So I like went to investigate and I opened the front door, and as I'm opening the front door, my mom yells from the bathroom, "I'm locked in the bathroom!" And I was like, what? So it turns out that like just when she locked the door to take her shower, it just got stuck and wouldn't unlock. It's an old door, old knob. We've had those doors for like, they're probably as old as I am, you know, and I'm ancient. So we tried to take the doorknob off of, like unscrew the doorknob, but the lock was like just jammed inside, like between the door and the wall, that part, it just would not budge. And so then we had to take the hinges off of the door, or take the door off the hinges. Then that required me to like hit the door with a hammer where the hinges were to like get it unstuck. Oh my gosh. I'm a little dizzy right now because physical exertion makes me more dizzy. So I'm trying to rest. I already had plans later this afternoon to go to urgent care because I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I've been experiencing some ear pain like on and off for over a week. And I've just like tried to ignore it because I don't want like another thing on top of everything else. But then last night I did not sleep hardly at all because the ear pain was pretty persistent. And this morning it has not been like any better. I like scheduled an urgent care visit at my nearby urgent care, and there's no availability until this afternoon, which is fine for someone like me who, like, I don't need too urgent of care. I just would like something today. I also start cat sitting for my neighbors, and that requires going over there 3 times a day. After lunch, I'll go over there, feed the cats, and then after that, my mom's gonna take me to urgent care, drop me off, go pick up my nephews from school, and then hopefully I won't have to wait too long, because she then has to go to work later. So hopefully she can pick me up before she has to go to work. Otherwise, I'm not really sure when my dad gets off, but he would come get me. Or maybe my brother, because he doesn't live too far away, but I don't know what his schedule's like today either, so. But it's fine. Either way, I'm not worried about getting home. Worst came to worst, I could walk home, but it's hot and I don't feel well, so it's probably not the best combination. But if worst came to worst, worst came to worst, I could order an Uber, but I don't like do that. I've taken an Uber once in my life, which is a privilege in and of itself. But so happy Friday, welcome to the vlog. I hope you're doing well. It's been a very eventful morning. So I'm cat sitting, like I said, for my neighbors who are the parents of my childhood best friends. They're moving out of state very soon, and there's a possibility that our other childhood best friend is going to buy this place for her family, which would be amazing. Because if not, this house is just going to go to like some strangers, and this house has the most childhood memories of mine as of any other place, because we practically lived here. The 4 of us, like, we practically lived here as children all summer long. Like, this is where we always spent the night. This is where we would always just like come over. So I have like so many childhood memories of this house. And it's just like, if my friend doesn't end up buying it and this just goes to like some random family who's probably gonna like rip it apart, because that's what people do in this neighborhood, is they buy these really old houses and then just like destroy them from the inside. And I get it, like I get that they have to be updated and stuff like that, but it's just like, it's gonna be so weird. I really hope my friend buys it, but it's not a guarantee right now. So yeah, while I'm here this week, I'm just trying to like soak in. I'm trying to just soak in like every little detail of this place, because after this week, like that's gonna be it. I mean, I'll come over like while they're packing to like help and say goodbye, but other than that, it's just like it's so weird. I really hope my friend ends up buying it so that it stays. And I know it's kind of silly to like be so sentimental about like someone else's house, but I mean, I don't want my family to sell our house either, but that might eventually be a thing that happens, you know? So the good news is I don't have an ear infection. That's great news. I do have apparently sinus pressure, sinus buildup, sinus pressure that's like causing pressure in my ears that's causing the pain. And I'm wondering if that sinus pressure is also causing some of the dizziness too? Question mark? Because I don't have any. I can breathe in my I can breathe in my sinuses, but he said he could see sinus pressure and a mucus. That's such a gross word. Mucus buildup in my ears. What? So he's prescribing me some nasal spray. I'm talking about the urgent care doctor, by the way. I don't know if that has been made clear. He's prescribing me some nasal spray to use short term to clear up my sinuses. But I don't know. I don't get it. And then also some like higher prescription ibuprofen to help with the inflammation, because he's seeing a lot of inflammation in my ear caused by the sinus pressure and mucus buildup. What? I am so like, how? So I just called my PCP to try and get an appointment with her, because I want to tell her this and see if she will refer me to an ENT. Because if I'm having like sinus issues, asymptomatic sinus issues that are affecting my ears, I'm just like, maybe that has something to do with this increased dizziness. I don't know. But I want to keep her in the loop. I want to tell her about it. I want to see what she has to say, and hopefully she wants to help me. And hopefully I could get in to see an ENT before July, because I still have to wait until July to see a neurologist, and I really don't want to like wait all this time just for a neurologist to tell me to go see an ENT. You know what I mean? And then I will also have some information to tell her after I've tried the VRT twice, because I do that next week. And I can't get in to see my doctor until the following week. It's fine. Anyway, now you've been updated. What a weird day. I'm grateful that it's not an ear infection and that it's not something that that the urgent care doctor was concerned with, you know, more concerned with. That's great. Now I know that I can take, until I have that prescription is ready, I know I can take more ibuprofen than what I normally would take to help with the inflammation. Gosh, my body. Okay, real quick before I get to what I've just filmed, I want to make it very, very clear that I'm just sharing my life and I am not currently asking for any suggestions or any advice whatsoever. I appreciate it, but I don't want any of it at this point in time, because I'm not diagnosed with what I'm about to talk about, okay? I'm not diagnosed. I don't know if this is actually what I'm even dealing with. So for the time being, I don't want to hear anything. Thank you. It will just go ignored if you do send me something. I appreciate it, but I don't want any of it. Thank you. Happy Tuesday? Question mark? I think it's Tuesday. So yesterday I had my vestibular rehab therapy appointment, and it did not go as planned. I was evaluated, assessed by the doctor there, right, to figure out the treatment plan. But through her assessment, she was basically like, yeah, in her opinion, what I'm experiencing wouldn't be helped with vestibular rehab. I was like, okay. So she was like, in her opinion, she doesn't think that what I'm dealing with is vestibular related. And honestly, I kind of agree with her, because like I don't have like my dizziness, I don't get like a huge bout of dizziness when I like move my head, right? When I turn over in bed, I don't experience like a wave of dizziness, which is usually very common with people with like vestibular issues. But I don't experience that. Like if I bend down forward to pick something up, that does give me some side to side, rolling over in bed, that doesn't give me dizziness. Like I'm always dizzy. And then the physical exertion, the exercise is what I've realized, as I've mentioned, has really been the biggest contributor to my increased dizziness, to where it becomes unbearable. That is apparent. Okay, so I kind of got ahead of myself. So she told me, what? Oh, gosh, I thought there were little like things. You can't see. That's a T. I thought there were little things at the bottom of the T. It's not. Oh my gosh, I'm okay. When she told me that she didn't think that I was dealing with a vestibular problem, in her opinion, she thinks that I have something. I don't know if I want to just like say it yet until I'm tested for it. Nah, let's just, who cares? She wants me to be tested for something called MCAS, mast cells activation syndrome. I don't know. I'm not familiar with it at all. I've like maybe seen it talked about in passing online, but I don't know. I don't know anything about it. It's the type of thing where it's got lists and lists of symptoms, right? It's like it's a cluster symptom type of thing where people, their symptoms will vary, but it's usually throughout the whole body. Like you'll have some symptoms that involve your head, digestive issues, some people have heart, lungs. It's very similar to Lyme in that regard. And just from the very basic reading I've done, I've also seen that there's a correlation between Lyme and MCAS, so it doesn't seem like out of the realm of possibility. But anyway, one of the things about MCAS is a legitimate like exercise intolerance, which would be, because basically it's like from what she explained to me, again, I don't know anything about this, I'm not an educator, this is me just sharing what I've picked up in the last day. But she said like the actual like what actually happens to your muscles when you work out, like the actual muscle breakdown, your body views that as like something is invading. Your immune system views it as something is invading, and then like it sends your body into like this emergency situation, we gotta like fix it or whatever. And then something also with like your heart rate, so like cardio, like getting your heart rate up will also trigger that same response. From my understanding, it's like a really big diet change. It's basically you've got to pay attention to what you eat, which I've been through before, and I know how like frustrating and awful and annoying that is, and so I'm like feeling really discouraged about that. But also I was thinking about like the weight gain that I've experienced, that I've mentioned in the past recently. I'm like, I feel my body feels inflamed, and I might just be trying to make pieces fit where they don't fit. I'm gonna turn the fan on, I'm so hot. I say that I'm at my friend's house. I'm two houses down from where I live, at my childhood best friend's parents' house. They are out of town visiting my best friend who just had a baby, and I am watching their cats. I'm taking care of their cats. So I come down here 3 times a day to feed the cats and clean out the litter boxes. Anyway, that's why I'm here. And then also, like our other best friend whose parents live across from my parents, she is actually buying this house from our other friend's parents. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I have a headache today. I don't feel great. I feel overwhelmed. I feel discouraged because this like new thing sounds so daunting. It sounds so daunting and like so frustrating to live with, and I don't want to deal with it, but I want to feel better. So going back, so I think it's possible that like the weight gain I've experienced is like just inflammation of my body, or not. It could also not be. So I don't know. Next week I see my PCP. I'm going to update her on the urgent care visit that I went to with my ear pain, and then also let her know about this new thing that, and the fact that I'm not doing the VRT. Like, I was so didn't want to do the VRT, and I put so much like stress and frustration about it because I was scared to do it, and then it turns out that like I'm not meant to do it anyway. Like I don't know anything. I feel very lost and confused and discouraged, and that's just the way that it goes. So, I'm not excited and I'm frustrated, but it's fine. This is just what my life is, and I will deal with it. So, this is just a reminder that I am not diagnosed and I am not looking for any suggestions or advice. So if you've got it, I don't want to hear it. I appreciate people are just trying to help. But again, I'm not looking for any advice or suggestions at this time. I'll let you know if I do want some in the future. I just got new books in the mail, so I wanted to show you what I got. This is called The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin. And I think if I remember, this is a sci-fi. It deals with like sexual prejudice, an ice-bound planet of winter, intergalactic civilization. Yeah, this is just embracing the aspects of psychology, society, and human emotion on an alien world. So this will be interesting. Excited to read that. Sounds good. I like the cover too. And then, so earlier in the year, I read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and absolutely loved it. And so then I got Malibu Rising, which is another one of her books. This says, 4 famous siblings throw an epic party to celebrate the end of summer, but over the course of 24 hours, their lives will forever change. So I'm like, this is gonna be such a good like summer read. So I'm going to save that for like June. And then this one I'm really excited about. So also earlier in the year, I read The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna and loved it. It was about World War II, and it was so well written. It was probably it was probably the most well written book that I've read this year. It was heavy. There were definitely heavy aspects to it because obviously it's World War II, but I really enjoyed it. And so when I was looking through Bookshop to see what books I wanted to get, I saw this one. So this is another Kristen Hanna book, The Four Winds. This takes place during the Great Depression in America, and so I'm fascinated. I was recently talking to my mom about like her relatives who grew up during the Great Depression, and so it was like kind of on my mind. And I don't know that I've ever read a book that has taken place during the Great Depression. So I was really curious about this. I think this is actually the one I'm going to start reading. I'm in the middle of another book right now called The Red Tent, and it's good, but it's not like super engaging. So I'm going to like take a break from it, dive into this, and then go back to it. But yeah, so I'm excited. I'm always on board to get new books. I'm so excited to have new books to read that I'm like excited to read. So I'll let you know how I enjoy them. A couple things to update you guys on. One, I had my PCP appointment, and she, for whatever reason, probably insurance related, cannot test me for MCAS. So I have to now wait to get a referral to see an immunologist and then see if they will test me. I don't know. My doctor it was such a frustrating appointment, and I don't want to like look too much into it, but like I'm probably projecting is what I'm trying to say, because at first she like claimed that the VRT doctor didn't send over a progress report saying that she suggests that I get tested for this, which then made me feel like my doctor thought that I was just like randomly making this up. Like, why would I make that up? It wasn't until I got like visibly frustrated and upset in my appointment that my doctor magically found the place in the progress report that said that doctor thinks I should get tested. Anyway, so I don't know why I need to have that specialist on top of a new specialist test me. I don't know. It's, like I said, it's probably insurance related, but it's just more waiting. It's just more waiting, more red tape. Like, it's so infuriating, but it is what it is. She's also going to send me to an ENT, and because of like the ear pain and the sinus pressure and mucus buildup that the urgent care doctor saw, I don't know. She's like, well, has your dizziness been improved after using like the nasal spray? And I'm like, not enough to like matter. I don't know. It was such a frustrating appointment. So yeah, I'm still waiting, basically. Now we're gonna talk books. So I'd mentioned at the beginning of the year, I read this book. It was one of my favorite books I've read so far. The Nightingale, super well written. I've just mentioned that in a previous clip, right? So then you saw I bought this book, The Four Winds, same author. This is newer. It takes place in the Great Depression. I was so excited to read this. I gave it 100 pages and I'm so bored. None of the characters are likable. There's like no plot yet, other than like a farm family are like struggling because of the droughts, you know, of the Great Depression that happened during the Great Depression, I should say. But like, it's so boring. It's so boring. In this, the characters are like, not only are they likable, not like these are bad people. They're not bad people at all. It's not that kind of thing. They're just boring. They're so boring. They have no characterization other than to be boring. And okay, I know it's the Great Depression, but the book starts like 13 years before the Great Depression starts, okay? So it takes place like when people are thriving, but not a single character is interesting. This book is so disappointing. I might go back to it at some point in time because I'm just like, I have faith in the writer. Like, I feel like the writing is really good in this. The characters are so interesting in this book. Even the so-called boring character in this book, like one of the sisters is definitely written as like the more serious one, but even she is like really compelling and interesting, and just you want to know more about her. That is not happening. So 100 pages in, there's not anyone that's interesting in this book. It's so disappointing. I don't understand it. Maybe I'll get back to it at some point in time, but for now, it's gonna go down here. For now, it's gonna go down there, and the next book I'm gonna start reading is The Left Hand of Darkness. But yeah, thank you for your patience of this video. I've gotten like my videos have been put on like a back burner recently. I've just like lost the desire to like do them, and I think part of it is just like having a job that's so much on the computer now that like anything that involves like having to edit this video on a computer, like it just makes me not want to do it. But I like having the videos. Not that anyone cares, I know, but some good news. I saw a dermatologist today for like a full body check because I live somewhere where it's sunny every single day of the year pretty much, and I'm fair skinned, and it's just like important, you know, it's good measure to get your skin checked out. This is the first time I've ever had a skin check, and I'm in my 30s, but he looked all over and he was like, your skin looks great, nothing to be concerned about. And so it was good news. It's great news. Take it where you can get it, right? Be safe, be well. I hope you find ways to enjoy your life, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.